yeah, I know you're a real estate agent and you're going to help your customer and you're going to provide the best customer service and you'll always be there for your customer and you'll do whatever you want for your customer, and all that is great. But what's your story? What's good, y'all? My name is Sean Slaughter, real estate agent and investor, and my mission is to help new real estate agents level up within their first few years of doing real estate. And we do that just by walking together, taking a journey along with me. We're doing this together. I remember being in Las Vegas at the real estate conference, and E.T., the hip hop preacher, was telling a story about how his wife suffers a physical condition or some kind of condition that she has that really limits her. And he did not want her to work anymore. And so the deal that they made was that if he could make her salary, whatever she made a year, times 30 years, if he could make that salary within a year, she would stop working and he would be the main breadwinner. Well, lo and behold, he worked his butt off, and that year he made, I forget, $1 million. And it basically was her salary times 30 years. She agreed to stop working, and he is now E.T., the hip hop preacher that we all know and love on social media. When I ask you what is your story, that's what I'm talking about. So many times when I'm on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, I see generic real estate agents. If I was a customer that was looking to choose a real estate agent and I was on social media, probably a millennial, and I was trying to decide which real estate agent that I wanted, I probably would choose the real estate agent with the best story that is going to attract me and grab me, a story that I connected with. Because people are going to connect with your story because your story helps them connect with you, versus the generic real estate agent that gives generic real estate agent advice that I can Google, to be very honest. But what story are you telling to attract those leads, particularly when you're marketing yourself online, on social media, or even offline when you're talking to people? If you are door knocking or cold calling or door hanging or just chopping it up with somebody at a restaurant, what is the story that you're going to tell that when you leave that person, they don't think, another salesman, another real estate agent, but they think, man, that's an interesting guy. He has an interesting story. What story is going to make them interested in you and they want to hire you because of you? Today, I want to go over this idea in a book that I've been reading called .com Secrets. And I'm really digging into, currently I'm really digging into this digital online marketing, really trying to learn more about it. I just finished Traffic Secrets, and now I'm reading .com Secrets, written by the same guy, Russell Brunson. He also has another book called Expert Secrets in the trilogy, and I'll be reading that as well. As real estate agents, we're always trying to get leads, right? We're always trying to fill our pipeline with leads that we can nurture and eventually turn into sales. And one of the hardest things to do is to get leads. How do we attract those leads? Well, one way that we attract leads is through our story. I'm jumping ahead a little bit because he actually gave a 3-part system to attracting those to you, to what you have to offer. And this system is hook, story, and offer. Hook, story, and offer. I definitely would tell you guys, if you're not reading on a continual basis, I'm gonna be honest, I can't sit down and read a book. I cannot sit because my mind is busy. I want to get up. Even when I'm on the phone talking to people, I'm walking and pacing. All right, so I'm a walker and a pacer. But Audible has saved my life. So get yourself an Audible subscription. It will absolutely save your life because you'll be getting ideas and education on how to do things, and you think you're doing them well, but you have no idea how people out here have literally mastered marketing and branding and all the things that we're trying to do in order to get those leads in. So let's talk about hook, story, and offer. Hook. So I'm going to pull from the book a little bit. Russell Brunson talks about how he's doing a talk, and during this talk, he asks everybody in there if they would buy his iPhone for $100,000. Now, the iPhone cost $600. And when he asks them, will you buy this iPhone for $600? Nobody puts their hand up, but everybody is intrigued. He's hooked them. In your social media posts, in your Facebook posts, in the things you're doing online and offline, what are your hooks? What are the questions that you're asking? What are the things that you're saying to intrigue people to take another step further to figure out what the answer is behind that? What is the story behind that? Think of a hook as one or two things. You can think of a hook as in a fish, right? Hooking a fish, catching a fish, and the story is going to be when you reel them in. But I like to think of a hook, because I was a former musician, I like to think of a hook as a hook in a song, right? And the hook is the most catchy part of a song. If you've ever been in a wedding and you've heard people singing a song and they're dancing, and many times 80 to 90% of the people in that wedding are not singing the verses, right? Only like the hardcore music people that want you to know they know all the verses are singing the verses. But when it gets to the hook, the catchy part, the memorable part, the part that was created to get your attention, everybody sings it. So what is your hook? And your hook should be everywhere. Everywhere you should be intriguing people with maybe the questions that you ask, or maybe the articles that you're posting. So maybe a hook that you can put on your website as you're reading and educating yourself and you're creating these questions because you have these questions. Maybe a hook could be on your website. Is a 5.5% mortgage rate a bad thing? You may actually start discussion. Some people say yes, some people say no. You can begin to point people toward the article. You may not want to get as deep into the economics of the inflation and all that type stuff, but maybe you kind of give your spill on what you think. You may even want to talk about historically where mortgage rates have been. But the whole point is you've thrown out a hook that interests and intrigues people to now have a conversation. Work on your hook. Next up is story. All right, I didn't forget you. Getting back to Russell Brunson. Remember, his hook was, I have an iPhone that I'm going to sell here for $100,000. Who wants it? And nobody at the conference raises their hand. Then he begins to talk about the iPhone. And he says things like this. I've downloaded over $750,000 worth of books. Any DVD that I ever had, I had somebody rip it and put it on so it can be almost like an audio book. All the ones that were trash, I deleted. All the ones that were great, I kept. I have tons and tons and tons of the books that I read continuously, the podcast, the things that I've listened to over and over and over again that has made me the multimillionaire. He created ClickFunnels that has made me the multimillionaire I am today. That education is on here. Additionally, I'm going to leave in all the contacts to Tony Robinson, contacts to Dan Kennedy, contacts to Dean Graziano, all of the contacts with these high-powered personal development, so on and so forth, marketing, branding people. They're going to stay on here. And if you call one of these contacts and you say that you're referred by Russell Brunson, they would at least listen to you for one phone call. Additionally, I have Voxer app on here, and the Voxer app I use to communicate in a one-on-one personal coaching with those that pay me $1 million to do their funnels and their branding and so on and so forth. And you can actually now have access to jump in on those calls and listen in for free. And he goes down the line, down the line, down the line. He's telling a story. He's telling a story. And now, as you can see, he got them with the hook, but then he provided a story with value. Once you have your client, your lead, hooked on the question or the idea or whatever hook you're going to use to get your potential client to come to your website, to come to your lead page, to come to your Instagram or Facebook or whatever, what's the story you're going to say? Are you going to say, are you going to tell us all your numbers? Nobody cares about your numbers. Think about this. Think about if you were surfing and you saw a real estate agent and he basically talked about all his numbers. Would you want to hire that dude? No, remember, people don't hire the best. They hire those that they like. And they want the ones that they like to be the best. All right? They hire your character and then your skill. So tell a story. Tell a story about a transaction. Tell a story about maybe a tough time that you had and how you stuck it out. Tell a story that's intriguing so that people kind of get to know you. They have a sense of who you are. They have a sense of how you do real estate. They have a sense of how you take care of people. What is the story that you're going to tell that when people leave that page or people leave that post, they say, I like that guy. I like that girl. I like what they stand for. I like what they represent. I like the type of real estate agent that they are. They don't seem like the one that's, always talking about quick to close and all this other type stuff. They're humans, right? They're not salespeople. They're people that are actually telling human stories. Okay? So think about this. And mind you, this does take some time to think about because it naturally does not come easy. But hook them and then tell a story. Now, here's the last part that Russell Brunson talked about, the offer. So now he says again, cell phone. How many people want to buy this cell phone for $600? Everybody's hand go up. And then he goes up 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70, 100,000, 200,000, 400,000. By the time he gets to 750,000, he has 3 people with their hand up. He brings these 3 people on the stage because this is the offer, right? And he asks, why in the world would you pay $750,000 for this cell phone? And somebody said, because $750,000 is actually cheap based on the value that's in that phone. Basically saying, with the business that I have, I can make a call to Tony Robbins, and with the right pitch and the right connection and the right preparation, I may be able to create the right opportunity that may make me a millionaire. And all I had to do was spend $750,000. You see how the story that you tell should offer so much value that people want to come to you because of what you do? As a matter of fact, if you really get good at giving a hook and a story, the offer is easy. What are you offering? And when you offer value, don't just tell them that, hey, I'll give great customer service or I'll so and so and so forth. Really add value. One of the things that we do is, like prior to closing, we send a packet that has utilities and numbers and all these different bits of information. I live in the 7 cities, so Newport News, Hampton, Norfolk, Suffolk, blah, 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 blah. In every city, we create a packet for our buyer. So maybe 7 days before closing, we send this packet. They can get all the utilities started. They know the numbers of the local schools. They know all the popular restaurants in that area. We make it really, really easy for them to get acquainted. That's just one piece of value. Afterwards, we do a follow-up call after, because the one thing I want my clients to know is just because the sale is over and you've closed and I got my money does not mean that I'm not going to give you my time. I am a resource. Here's one thing that he said that I think is great. Stop selling people and start offering people. It's a different mindset. I don't want to sell people on my service as a real estate agent. I want to continue to offer people and offer people and offer. And I'm always thinking, what else can I offer? What else can I offer? How much value can I provide so that when this transaction is done, I provided so much value, and after the transaction's done, I'm continually providing value to the point where the client is like, oh my goodness, I'm getting so much value from dealing with this guy. I gotta tell people about him. I have to refer him. And when you're continually offering value, and it's little things, it doesn't always have to be money or gift cards or things like that, but when you're continually offering value, you start building relationships with people. Maybe not all your clients, but some of your clients, you start building these relationships to where, after the transaction, you can text them, hey, checking in, seeing how you doing, was thinking about you. All right. This is where your real estate business grows and booms and stays consistent so that you can consistently feed your family. This is how you become a real estate agent that doesn't quit within the first, 1 to 3 years, but you're actually somebody that can last every single market. If you can build these relationships through hook, story, and offer, you're going to be an absolute rock star. Look, I hope that helps. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and karate chop that bell. I've also placed links to the books, Expert Secrets, Traffic Secrets, and .com Secrets. Please make sure that you guys are reading and learning about your real estate skills, but also marketing and branding yourself. Because remember, you're an entrepreneur. You are the business. You're the boss, and you're the employee. This is the House of Motivation, the place where inspiration lives.